Hello everyone, Pedro here with CineMilled, and today we are bringing you one more key component of our vehicle rigging ecosystem, and that is the new hardball leveling mount. I'm excited to jump right in and show you all the different ways the new CineMilled hardball leveling mount is going to interact and give you the most amount of options possible to get the camera where you need it in a safe and secure manner. So why do you need a hard mount in your vehicle rigging toolkit? Not everything needs to be stabilized. In fact, when it comes to vehicle shots, especially shots that are looking back on the vehicle where the camera is mounted on the vehicle, or if the camera is mounted on the vehicle that's appearing in the shot, so what I would call like selfie mode, right? On the hood, looking at the driver, on the door, looking at the driver, looking at the passengers, you know, can it off the side, looking at the tire, smoking up. All these things require a fixed camera mount, so no gimbals, right? So the hardball leveling mount is designed to put the camera where you need it in a rigid, fixed position with no stabilization. It should move with the car. It shouldn't vibrate, and for it not to vibrate, it has to be extremely stiff. So the way we do this is we have a ball in the center, right? And it has a stem that then connects to the camera plate. So very simply, the middle plate squeezes on that ball and locks the camera in whatever position that you tilt and angle it at. Some of you may be familiar with leveling camera mounts. So what really makes ours different is essentially the base plate, right? The base plate is really the magic of this whole system, right? Because the rest, it does what it's supposed to do, which is hold the camera in place wherever you place it and you lock it. All right, so you can see here, it's basically, we got our top plate, which is the camera plate, what I call the camera plate. We got the mid plate, which is the pressure plate. That's the plate that squeezes that ball, that locks it all into position. And then we got the base plate. So let me start off by talking about the top plate. So the top plate's really straightforward. So we got a big long slot here that gives you a lot of options on where to connect to different plates, different cameras. What I normally do is I have a airy dovetail, right? An airy camera dovetail. We're gonna be making these soon also. And then I bolt that dovetail to here, right? So doing that gives me more options. The most important part is the camera can just slide in and slide off, and I don't have to bolt and unbolt the camera. I just leave this plate bolted to the top plate, the camera plate, and then not only I can rebalance, depending if I change a lens and one lens is heavier than the other, over the CG of the ball, right? Very important. So while it should hold, it doesn't hurt to keep the camera balanced over the ball, right? It leaves more of the clamping force to actually holding the camera in place. It leads to a more secure camera. So this is why I prefer to use airy dovetails on the top. So one of the unique and new things I did to this camera plate here up top is I added a 3/8 and a 1/4 20 to the top right here. And one of the reasons I did that is so that just in case if you have a particularly large, heavy camera and you want to add additional bracing, you can take a baby pin, thread it in here to one of the holes, and then rig up, you know, an additional brace. Alternatively, this is why I put the 3/8 there, is you can take our Houdini starter, our 5/8 Houdini starter, thread that in there, and there you go. And then so you can now have rigs straight off of there, right? Additional bracing. Let's talk about the base plate. This is the heart of the system. This is what really makes the hardball mount very unique, right? Let's start off with talking about the CineMilled castle nut and collar that we've made for a long time. Stainless steel quality stuff. So if you need to mount the hardball leveling head to a Mitchell mount of some sort, so when would you need to do this? It might be a riser plate, right, off of the cheese plate that's on the vehicle, off of off of a 10-inch suction cup of some sort. So you may put a Mitchell riser, which we also now make, look it up on our website, with different standoff heights, so you can raise the camera to different heights. So you're going to need a Mitchell on the bottom of your leveling head. So all you're going to need to do is, I think these are 2-inch or 1.5 inches, something like that. We do sell the stainless steel socket head cap screw hardware on our website. So you just drop that in. You can see there, right? And that will line up with the bottom of the plate. And boom, now your hardball leveling mount mounts to a Mitchell. Let's talk about mounting it on Speedrail. So what I have here is our beautiful carbon fiber Speedrail. And if I want to mount this ball head to a Speedrail, right? Because let's say on the hood of a car, on the trunk of a car, on the side of a car, you may have a long piece of Speedrail running alongside of it so that you can quickly reposition the camera. And so what we want to do is securely mount this to a piece of Speedrail. So we have a few options. Excited to say we have a few options. So here's the base plate. The first option, you can take our male Houdini, fixed Houdini, the male Houdinis, and you'll see here the Houdini star pattern, right? This is the Houdini mounting system pattern. So this means you can drop these in here at different positions, right? And my favorite is along one axis. So you can go 45-degree increments, and you can do 2 of them right there. And there you go. Now you're on Speedrail. So if you have a couple leftover male Houdinis, you can use the male Houdinis on the star pattern. The advantage is you got those 4 pins. It's extremely secure. There's absolutely no play. But if you also have a few female Houdinis, it's also possible to mount female Houdinis on here, because basically all you're going to do is you're going to take I think this is a 1-inch or a 1/2 inch long 3/8/16, and you're going to drop that right there on the edge of the plate, right? And here's the female Houdini, 2 inches apart. A lot of our mounting patterns on a lot of our things are what I would call industry grip standard 1 inch on center. So this happens to be 2 inches apart, right? 1 inch on center, 1 + 1, 2. And we have the 2 inch apart here. So you put that together right there. Let me tighten that up. There you go. Now, you may be familiar with our 360 Houdini product line. So our 360 Houdini product line, they all share the same common bolt. And so you can mix and match sizes. So you can go from 1.25 inch Speedrail to 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch Speedrail to 5/8. We also have 3/8 rigging rod. So it's a very versatile system. It's not fixed like this one, so it swivels, right? That's why it's called the 360 Houdini. And the same thing, you could take half of a 360 Houdini, thread it on here. There you go. There's your 5/8 rigging rod. And maybe you have the Matthews Freedom Mount system with the 2 5/8 rods coming off of it. So this could interact, and you can see here it would then swivel, and so you can change the angle to whatever angle you need to make this work, right? So it's the same thing, same idea with the Speedrail 360 Houdinis, right? You can bolt them on here. I'm just going to feed it through there. And there you go, right? Goes right on the Speedrail. You could angle it. You can put a second clamp right here, so you have 2 clamped positions. But the way I envision using this is usually when you're off axis or you want to go off onto a different direction. Anyways, just one more option. So this is the new CineMilled tilt plate. There's a few options with this. We have another tutorial video talking just about the tilt plate. But basically, it bolts to the 10-inch suction cup, or it has its own base plate. But at the top here, this will line up with these right here, and you can bolt the ball head, the hard ball head, to the tilt plate, right? This can, why would you want to do that, right? So you got two tilting plates, right? So the ball head has a limit, right? There's a certain point you hit the max angle limit on this ball head. So if you need additional, range or of tilting, you can then incorporate this. So imagine this is on the side of a vehicle, and then this goes on top, and then you fix exactly where you need it. And remember, this one, the tilt plate only tilts. The hardball mount, since it's a ball mount, it tilts and rolls and pitches, right? So it goes, so that's the one where you fine tune the frame, right? So basically, these two top plates are designed to attach to each other, right? And then of course on our tilt plate, we also have the Houdini mounting system here. You see the star pattern. And so you can additionally support it with Speedrail or the clamps, right? Or the Houdini clamps. So similar thing. So this is one great option, especially when it's mounted to the suction cup. You can stick this anywhere on the car and then give you a gross adjustment with the tilt plate and then fine tune it with the hardball. But there's one final option, which is probably the most useful of them all, which is the suction cup mode. Right? So how do I attach the hardball mount to the suction cups? So here we go. So you have a few options. The first and most straightforward option, right? Here's the base plate again. I'm going to take it to demonstrate. Is we have our 2-inch on center mounting pattern on both of our cheese plates. So that means this will line up. So we can take these 1/2-inch bolts here, right? See, they drop in right there. And that will now line up with our suction cup. There you go. So that's one way. The same thing on this 6-inch suction cup. So it has a 2-inch on center, 3/8/16 pattern right in the center. So you're going to line that up, and boom. Let's get that started. All right. So there you go. That's how you bolt the hardball mount to the 6-inch suction cup right there. So there's one more option when it comes to the 6-inch suction cup. You can bolt it directly to the hex plate, the hex cheese plate, or check this out. If you want to lose an inch of height and you're going to have a dedicated suction cup hardball mount, I have a very cool option for you. So this is the direct mounting mode for the 6-inch suction cup. So we're going to remove the bolts off the top, the screws, and we're going to remove the hex plate. So we're not going to use this, so we lose this in height. So that is interesting. You're not going to be able to, you can get the bolts in, but you're not going to be able to tighten it unless you cut your Allen wrench down so that it fits in there. So you're going to take the bare plate just like it is here. Very simply, you see here, this is the same pattern of this countersunk pattern that is on there. So you can drop the bolts in there. Boom. And guess what? That is going to fit right onto the standoffs on our 6-inch suction cups. All right. And so there you have it. You now have mounted your hardball mount directly to the 6-inch suction cup base. And so essentially it would look like this, right? It would be directly on there, and then you can go and attach that on your vehicle. That is the CineMilled Hardball Mount. Super excited to finally get this out. This is the core, this is the foundation of any fixed hard mount on a vehicle. Everything will flow from there. All your clamps, your Speedrail, your suction cups, all that stuff will flow from the frame, right? From where the camera is positioned. So super important. You have a very strong, secure, capable, versatile, hard mount leveling head, and that is the new hardball mount from CineMilled. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. We also have another option, which is head on over to Facebook. We have a vehicle rigging, cinema vehicle rigging, camera car group. Lots of experienced people on there. If you want to get answers and get ideas from other people, it's a great place for you to show your rigs once you start rigging cameras on vehicles. And that's pretty much it, guys. I will see you next on the series of videos that I'm going to be mounting the hardball mount onto an actual vehicle and onto Speedrail, onto 5/8 rods, and actually show you how you can mount and rig, give you shopping lists, all that stuff. So I'll see you in those videos, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.